right. Hello, hello, hello. I'm Maddie, also known as Presley Dreams Art on various forms of social media. I hear myself. Why do I hear myself? Do I have myself like up somewhere? I do. There we go. All right, fixed it. But yeah, hey, what's up? Welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. We're going to continue to work on this Heather Mason artwork that I always feel I'm like, I'm so close to finishing, and then I am not close to finishing because something else pops up. So I hope everybody has some water. We're staying hydrated today. I took a multivitamin today, so I'm like peak health. So you can trust me when I say drink water. Just kidding, I'm not a health professional. Please don't take it that way. But seriously though, ooh, hello. Get a drink, get comfy. We're just gonna hang out. Just real low key. We're gonna work on some Heather Mason. Honestly, I think the jacket's fine. I might add some like texturing to the skirt, but honestly I'm fine with it for the most part. I've shaded her skin. Her blushing looks fine. I was working on her hair last time we were working on this, so yeah, we'll just continue to do that. So I'm gonna really zoom in here and get this color, and then I think it was in sketching. Yeah, I like the peppermint brush like a lot. Okay. So I was just kind of going through and adding some depth to her hair with just these like streaks. It doesn't have to be perfect. Also, I see I got a new follower like what, yesterday? Loaf Shanks. So Shanks, so much to you, Loaf Shanks, for joining us. We're like getting super close to the affiliate level. Yeah, we're 39 followers out of 50, and I've already reached the other requirements for affiliate. That's the thing. So we're really on track. So just need to get that follower count up. So share this stream if you want to help me get to the affiliate level. That'd be awesome. Or if you're watching from YouTube or Facebook, don't forget to check me out on Twitch, because that is where I primarily am streaming from. And give me a follow there if you haven't already. And then we can have like some affiliate level fun. There's a lot of things that I get to unlock at that level. But welcome to October. It is now the time of the spoops, which is honestly the best time of the year. I am obsessed with October and spoopy things. I have watched a shit ton of horror movies in the past couple of days already, and I love it. I really love horror movies and all things scary, although I'm kind of on the fence about being scared myself. I do go to like horror like attractions every year, but like honestly I'm such a wimp when it comes to it. Isn't that like super weird? Like I can watch a horror movie like no problem, like slasher, gory, I don't care, fuck me up. But like when I have to go to the horror like haunted house attractions, I become a freaking wimp. I don't get it. And I don't understand. Like I gladly do them. Like I seek them out, but like my demeanor completely changes. I think it's because like they're right in front of me, and like with a movie I can distinguish between like what's real and what's not. Maybe even though in my mind I know it's not real, it's just, you know, the setting and, you know, the people in the costumes kind of make it more real. And my like lizard brain goes, nope, GTFO, my guy. So maybe that's why. But eventually, sorry, this music is like really loud for me, so I'm trying to like figure out in my headphones how loud this needs to be. That should be good. Oh yeah, maybe if I build up my tolerance and just like go to a ton, maybe they won't bother me so much. But they're still fun, nonetheless. I really enjoy them. I will probably not go to a haunted house attraction this year because, you know, COVID is a thing. And I understand a lot of people are like, yeah, it's okay. Like, they're, you know, a lot of them are socially distant or have, like, smaller groups or whatnot. And, you know, everybody wears a mask. But I don't know. It's still just, to me personally, still doesn't sound like a good idea because a lot of them are, like, indoors in really tight spaces. The actors, I mean, I'm not sure if they're gonna wear masks because that might, like, mess with their makeup or mess with their whole effect. Just pay people on Fiverr to chase you randomly with a chainsaw. Aaron, that is an amazing idea. I love it. Hi, Aaron. How you doing? It's so good to see you. Happy Friday. I know you're work from home this afternoon, so I hope you're enjoying it. But yeah, so I know a lot of people are like, oh no, it's totally safe, you know, like they're taking all the precautions, but like, you know, as I was saying, like the actors, I don't know if they're going to be wearing masks or anything. Maybe if they have like a fucking like physical mask on and they're wearing like a surgical mask underneath it and you can't see it, sure, but like people with just like special effects makeup on, I'm sure they're not going to wear a mask because that's going to kind of ruin their makeup and ruin the effect of like them trying to scare you. So that bothers me a little bit, and I just don't think I'm gonna take that risk, my guy, especially with a certain elected official contracting the virus today. This shit's not over, and I've been of that mind for quite some time. It's not over. We need to stop pretending like it is. And, you know, so I'm not going to go to the spooky houses. That can always happen next year. A lot of the big company haunted house attractions are not going to go out of business within 1 year. Because, in fact, a lot of them are open. I know the big one in, you know, the city I live, Atlanta, is still open, and they're like, oh, you know, we're, you know, socially distant and all that stuff. I'm like, yeah, I really don't think so though, fam. So, you know, whatever. Hi, hope you're having a good day. Hi, Kimchi. Thank you so much. I am having a good day. How are you doing? Thank you for joining. I'm talking about Halloween and how it's changed this year and like not wanting to go to a haunted house due to, you know, virus related things. So yeah, it just, again, long story short, it just didn't seem like a good idea to me. So it sucks, and, you know, I'll miss it this year. Because I love going and getting a good spook. But it's just, it's not worth it, I don't think. And it sucks because I saw a couple of my friends, like, on social media last night go to, like, a really popular haunted house attraction. And they were wearing their masks, but again, I'm not sure how well the actors can do that. And that's kind of, or like other people, you know, actually following the protocol. So I'm like, I'm just gonna not. Thanks though. So yeah, that's a bummer, but we are watching a ton of spooky movies like all the time. And, we've kind of gone through a lot of, what is it, Amazon and Netflix's repertoire, or yeah, I think that's the word, of scary movies. And honestly, some are great, some are not. I've pretty much seen all the great ones already, so we're kind of just going through the ones that are not so great. But that's fun too. They're kind of fun to laugh at. I actually like watched 3 or 4 Rob Zombie movies. And I honestly hadn't seen very many Rob Zombie horror movies. I had seen his Halloween movie of, like, Michael Myers' Halloween, no shit, like John Carpenter. And that one was fine. It wasn't my favorite. The original is always going to be my favorite because, like, there's that certain level of charm that that movie has. And I don't think that you could recreate that so easily. So, but it was fine. But I watched House of a Thousand Corpses, which I can only describe to me, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, is finger painting. Yeah, like horror finger painting was House of a Thousand Corpses. It wasn't terrible. It was very campy and very stylistic. It definitely seemed like Rob Zombie really just wanted to show you his interests when it came to what he likes out of a horror movie. And just his, like, basically his rock and roll, like, metal, punk, you know, whatever style of music he does, and, like, what he brings in his music videos, just, like, let's put that into a movie. Like, let's just do it. It was really hard to follow the plot. A lot of the plot didn't make sense, and it honestly got kind of boring to me for a little bit. But once, and I guess I'm just gonna, spoilers for House of a Thousand Corpses. It's been out for many years now, but spoilers just in case. So click it off if you don't want spoilers for that. I honestly got super freaking interested when they finally, like, showed Dr. Satan and, like, his, like, little minion dude. Like, the special effects and the character design of, like, those two monsters were freaking bonkers. And they were the most interesting thing to me in that whole movie. And we only saw them for, like, especially, like, Dr. Satan, whatever, we only saw him for, like, 4 minutes at most. And I was like, this dude looks so cool. Like, why can't I have a whole movie based on him? But he, like, Rob Zombie really focused on, you know, the Devil's Rejects storyline that he kind of started in House of a Thousand Corpses with the, you know, the Firefly family, which is fine because he made a second movie called Devil's Rejects, which is a continuation of the storyline of that family, which is featured in House of a Thousand Corpses. And it was fine. It was a fine, like, action horror movie, whatever. But in Devil's Rejects, like, the whole storyline with, like, Dr. Satan is just gone. And I'm like, that dude was the coolest part of that whole freaking movie. And, like, he's just nowhere. He's gone. And the house that this all kind of takes place at, apparently, like, Dr. Satan's lab or whatever, is, like, underneath the house, or, like, it's on the property somewhere, because they're just, like, apparently these, like, hillbilly hicks that live out in the middle of nowhere. And Dr. Satan's lab is underneath their home somewhere. It's just somewhere on their property. He's, like, underground, like, experimenting on people, and God, it's so dope. Like, his character design is awesome. It's just so creepy. He looks like a puppet. Like, he's got, like, these big, like cords, like, that are attached to his shoulders and his elbows and wrists, and they're, like, clipped to the wall or the ceiling in this high ceiling, like, dungeon area, and he's just, like, kind of like experimenting on people, and it's so freaking cool. And I'm like, where is that guy? Let's have a movie on him. He's so cool. Aaron says, if you haven't seen the first American Horror Story series, I do recommend it. I'd skip all the rest. Oh, Aaron, I have seen the entirety of American Horror Story. Like, all of them. I've seen every season. Every season. I've seen it all. Although I haven't seen the first season in a couple of years, so I may revisit it. But yeah, so, yeah, House of a Thousand Corpses by Rob Zombie. I mean, sure, I recommend. If you can handle, like, very, very grotesque horror and, like, crude humor. Like, there's a lot, like, of sexual jokes and, like, Like, it's very crude. Very, very, very crude. So, like, be careful. Would you agree that the rest of the series is hot garbage? Actually, no. My favorite season is and will always be Asylum, which is the second season. So I honestly, we're kind of jumping from Rob Zombie's cinematography. Yeah, cinematography. We're jumping from that to American Horror Story again. So on American Horror Story, the second season is my favorite, which is Asylum. I think it was really well done. I think the acting was really good. I think the storyline was just like, it had me riveted. I was on the edge of my seat for a lot of it. It was just great, especially the tension that they built up with the journalist. I love Coven. Yes, Kimchi. I was just about to say, after like I gave this big long like, oh my god, I love Asylum. I love Coven too. Those are my only two seasons that I like absolutely adore. Aaron says, Asylum is where it lost me. They just threw so much shit into the pot that it made no goddamn sense. There's no tension and when literally anything can happen. I get that. There were a few plot points that I feel like they kind of got too muddled. Like the whole alien thing. That one kind of lost me a little bit. I'm not really a fan of that plot line. But at least, like, the plot line of Bloody Face and the journalist that gets, like, kidnapped practically into the asylum and, like, all the shit that she goes through, like, during her time at the asylum and, like, when, you know, spoilers, Bloody Face, like, takes her home. Like, Jesus. Like, I felt the tension and the stress of everything she went for, and I was like seriously rooting for her the entire thing. So I love her and I like Asylum a lot, but I do agree that they kind of tried to do a little bit too much. Like the aliens should have probably have not been there. The whole like Nazi scientist thing, like I was more okay with because that kind of fit with the whole Asylum thing and like the inhumane and freaking awful human experimentation that went on like Nazi camps in World War II. So like that made more sense fitting into an asylum, but the alien thing kind of didn't. I think the thing is when the horror is grounded, it works better. Like you need some base rules. I agree. And that's why I'm seeing like this stuff with like, I'm fine with the paranormal. The paranormal aspect like was fine for me. Yeah, serial killer, that works. Demonic possession, that works when it's at least explained how it works. Like, what prevents the body hopping? Yeah, no, I get it. Like, even though I love American Horror Story Season 2 Asylum, I also genuinely agree that there are some fallbacks with it, for sure. Oh, where'd my camera go? Come on, camera. There it is. I agree. There's some parts that just really shouldn't have been in there. And then, like Kimchi said, Coven, I think, is also pretty good. Like, I think that one had a lot of, like, quotable one-liners in it, and that's just fun, I think. I think that's really fun. I liked the storyline of Coven as well. I thought that was really interesting. And I think they tried to recreate that a little bit in, like, the Roanoke thing that was absolute garbage. Roanoke was terrible. It was just awful. I think they lost me at Freak Show, because I was like, this is just not that good anymore. It's just not that good. I will make an exception for Hotel. I at least found it interesting to some degree, like with more serial killers and how they only kind of exist in the hotel and the framework in which the hotel kind of like allows dead people to manifest within its walls. But like with the serial killers, they can only kind of manifest, I think, at around Halloween time. But like the people who are actually killed within the hotel walls kind of stay there and are always there no matter what. And I kind of thought that was cool. And vampires are neat. I think they're fun. And actually, Lady Gaga did a pretty good job acting. Like, I'm sorry. I think she did a pretty fine job. She wasn't, like, best actress of the year or anything, but I think she did a pretty damn good job. So, my two favorites, Asylum and Coven, and then honorable mention for Hotel. But, like, that's it. Isn't that just the same story for Murder House? I think so, but I think they kind of added more. Like, yeah. They added a different setting. Rule-wise, yes. Yes, rule-wise, yeah. It's definitely the same kind of premise. But I think they kind of made it a little bit bigger, and I kind of don't mind that. Like, they had a bigger scope to work with instead of just, like, this random one house where it's only kind of limited to whoever lives in the house. They, like, made it a little bit more accessible with Hotel because, like, anybody stays at a hotel. So anybody could come and stay the night in this hotel and be murdered, and then they're trapped there. And then, you know, you have the owner of the hotel, I forget his name, you know, being, like, freaking crazy and, like, kind of being a serial killer himself. And then he, like, summons all the serial killers at, like, Halloween time. And it's, like, it's just crazy. And it's, yeah, I don't know. I thought it was fun. I'm not going to say it's my favorite. That's why it's an honorable mention. So. Yeah. But yeah, Asylum's my favorite. It's so good. And Coven was really good too. But anything more than that, I just thought was dumb. Like, Roanoke was dumb. Freak Show was kind of dumb. And I really kind of didn't like how they tried to make it, oh, it's the, like, American Horror Story universe. Like, I feel like that's, like, a trope everybody's trying to do nowadays. It's like, oh, like, this one film studio makes, like, 2 movies, but guess what? They need to keep making more money, so everything's a part of the cinematic universe. And I'm like, I don't know. It's just, it's not cool anymore. So I kind of liked how, like, they weren't connected. American Horror Story, like, really wasn't connected to each other. They were just these, like, crazy one-off scenarios. Kimchi says, oh, off topic. Thank you so much for the help with my piece. My friend really liked it. Yay! Great! Well, thank you for reaching out. Again, I'm not a professional. I am an amateur at best. So take my advice with a grain of salt, but, like, totally always down to, like, give some critique, like, helpful, constructive critique, of artwork as, you know, just from my objective, eye, because it sometimes really helps to kind of get out of your own head and have other people, I need to do some artwork while I'm talking, I'm sorry. It helps to get out of your head and kind of have some fresh eyes on the project. So I'm glad. Thank you so much for reaching out. Like, that just warmed my heart that you wanted to ask me for an opinion. So, and I was happy to give it. So you're welcome. Anytime. Back to ripping on American Horror Story. Yeah, Freak Show was dumb. And I really hate that they tried to make it into a universe type thing, because it's way overdone. It was really great when they were just kind of these random one-off, like, stories. It was fine. It made sense. And then Election was obviously a cash grab to cash in on the anxieties that everybody felt during the 2016 election, which I get. A lot of people had a lot of anxieties, but I don't know, they kind of felt tasteless. I don't know, like, maybe I'm just being too harsh. And, like, art, especially when it comes to cinematography, like, nothing should be off limits because it's an art form. I mean, and I sometimes go back and forth with that of, like, where we can put limitations on artwork. Because I feel like there should be boundaries, but also, like, when does that infringe on censorship? So I kind of go back and forth with that. So, but, like, in this kind of scenario, like, yeah, you wanted to make a TV show about the anxieties of America's future based on the 2016 election. Fine, but it just seems shallow. Does that make sense? I mean, maybe I'm just being a dick, but it just kind of seemed shallow of a concept to me, and I just really didn't like it. It was basically The Purge as a long-ass TV show with a couple of extra things, so I didn't like that. And then what else? Roanoke was garbage. That was a hot-ass garbage fire. And then, like, Doomsday, or whatever the 8th, or whatever the most recent season was, about, like, the end of the world, where they basically, like, tried to tie up all of the, like, universes into one. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I thought it was dumb, because, again, trying to make something into the cinematic universe, I feel like, really limits you. And they're just like, we have to tie it all together! Like, it all has to mean something. And I'm like, but why? It was basically Coven 2.0. And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, and I'm mad. I'm just mad about it. I don't know. Because now, like, some amazing characters are dead that didn't have to be dead. They could have just, like, stayed at Coven and just be done. Like, that could have been it. I don't know why we had to further Coven. Like, Coven ended at a good ending. It was great. Just fine. But they had to take it a step further with, like, the Doomsday thing, and I just... yeah, I have a lot of feelings. So, American Horror Story, I don't know. Murder House is awesome. Like, I feel like I haven't, like, said enough on Murder House, and I feel bad, but I watched Murder House forever ago, so I've kind of lost a little bit of it, but honestly, like, it was really good, too, so I'm not saying it's not good, it just wasn't my absolute favorite, but it was still amazing, but yeah, so that's where I feel. I have a lot of feelings. Should we go back to talking about Rob Zombie, so I can finish my little thought bubble on Rob Zombie? Cool. Let me know if you don't want to talk about Rob Zombie anymore. I don't have very much to say about it because I only watched 3 films. But yeah, Dr. Satan was a cool-ass character, and I'm really mad that they didn't, like, do more with him from House of a Thousand Corpses, because that would have made way more sense. But he introduced this storyline for The Devil's Rejects, which is about the family that abducts people into their homes and, like, mutilates them and bullshit. Again, really big content warning on that one. Like, please don't go watch it if you are sensitive to violence of all sorts and traumas of all sorts and assaults of all sorts and crude language and nudity, because there's a lot of that. So yeah, be careful with that. Don't recommend it to minors. Definitely don't recommend it to minors. It is not a movie for children, so just take that with what you will. But yeah, so anyway, I'm really just kind of, like, mad that the really good stuff of that movie was just kind of like, we don't want it anymore. Oh, come on, webcam. There it goes. So, that's my feeling on House of a Thousand Corpses. Kind of just wrap that up. What else? So yeah, on to Devil's Rejects. That was just kind of a continuation on the Firefly family. And, again, unless you have a really good reason to do so, making something into a cinematic universe just doesn't make sense to me. So that's kind of just what this felt like, was another, like, it's a whole universe. And I was like, alright. So I kind of got tired of that, and it was just a lot of, like, action, and it was honestly way more action than horror, to be honest, like Devil's Rejects. Excuse me. It was like a crime thing, because, you know, the Devil's Rejects murder family was, like, on the run from the police, and there's, like, a cop who's out to get him, because he's got, like, they killed his brother from the first movie, and I'm like, alright. This concept already sounds boring and way overdone, but fine, I'll watch it. And it was way more cohesive, story-wise, than House of a Thousand Corpses, because House of a Thousand Corpses could not pick a fucking tone or what story it wanted to be. So my boyfriend and I kind of just sum up that House of a Thousand Corpses was just a character piece, and maybe Rob Zombie really just wanted to show you all these characters he loved, and, like, just watch these characters. The plot really doesn't matter, which, fine. Uncut Gems is the same way. It's a character piece. The plot really doesn't matter too much. You're just kind of watching a character do character things. Sure, but it was bad. Because it felt like it was trying to tell a story, and then it jumped all over the place. So, Devil's Rejects definitely had a plot. And it had a cohesive ending. And it made sense. I think he had a bigger budget and more money. Well, yeah, bigger budget. He also had more producers. There were like 2 other producers that helped him on that movie. So it was a lot better, I think, in terms of like tone. It was more understandable. And I appreciated that, but it still like wasn't great to me. So that's where I'll end that. Then, the last movie I watched of Rob Zombie's recently, because they're on Amazon Prime, is I watched Lords of Salem. Yeah, Lords of Salem. Which actually, I didn't hate. That one is also very gruesome, just like Devil's Rejects and, Devil's Rejects and House of a Thousand Corpses, yes. Was way better produced. I could see the natural progression of like kind of him learning how to make a movie, and editing. And it wasn't bad. It was pretty simple in its story. It was about witches trying to like basically bring on the devil. It was like, yeah, you know, the witches of Salem that weren't burned because they were, they cast a curse on Salem. They kind of came back, or their followers that never, like, I don't know, the cult basically, or the coven never died out. It just kept going even after the witches were executed during the Salem witch trials, and the witches that did get executed set a curse on the residents of Salem. So they're kind of like trying to bring back Satan and all that kind of stuff. It's, again, very basic premise, nothing super original, to be honest. Kind of tacky and basic in storylines and plot points throughout, and hey, it's okay. And then, like, at the very end, once they, like, summon the Antichrist or whatever, the editing just goes balls to the wall bonkers, and it just felt like House of a Thousand Corpses for 5 minutes. It was, like, nuts. And it just totally didn't make sense for about 5 minutes in the movie. Had some really interesting, like, scenes where I was like, huh, that's wild. I don't hate that, but that does not make sense in this movie. But what really struck me is, like, very, like, towards the end, the main character, spoilers, is, like, the vessel to bring back the Antichrist or whatever. And there's a scene where I think she's dead, I'm not sure, but she's, like, standing on top of all this, like, dead people or whatever, and she's kind of, like, holding out her hands like Mother Teresa, but she's, like, Satan Mother Teresa, I don't know, or the Virgin Mary, I don't know. It's just, like, the religious symbolism, but they're, like, reverting it, because she's, like, you know, suffering, I don't know. It's, like, the whole thing, but the way it was shot kind of really reminded me on how the ending of Hereditary looked. So I was like, oh, were the directors of Hereditary inspired by a Rob Zombie movie? And is it this one? Because, like, the imagery and the way they set it up and the way they kind of, like, pulled back on the scenery and just kind of left it there, and it looked super surreal, but, you know, realistic at the same time and just really unsettling. I was like, this reminds me of Hereditary. I see what they did there. So it was just kind of cool to be like, I wonder if, you know, the directors of Hereditary, like, saw this, like, Rob Zombie movie and really liked the imagery and did the thing and, like, kind of harkened back to it. That was kind of cute. But, it's definitely not a great movie. I'm sorry. So that's where I wanted to end with Rob Zombie. It's not a bad movie. It's not a great one either, and definitely don't recommend it to children. So, yeah. But, you know, I'm stuck in the house and we don't really have much to watch, so whatever. We did buy a movie, though. We bought it for like $3 because, you know, I've been doing a lot of Silent Hill related things lately with this like art piece, and I've been watching a lot of Let's Plays of Silent Hill, like, because that's reminiscent of my childhood. So between watching like Let's Plays and what is it, like analysis videos. I really like analysis videos on YouTube. I watch them all the time. Even on like shit I haven't even watched. I'll watch like an analysis video of it, and then like kind of based on the analysis video I'll be like, huh, do I want to go see this or not? Anyway. A lot of analysis videos for Silent Hill bring up a movie called Jacob's Ladder, and how the visuals were an inspiration to a lot of Silent Hill developers in later games. And I was like, huh, I have never heard of this movie. I need to go see it. So I couldn't watch it for free on Amazon or Netflix. Netflix does have a 2019 remake of Jacob's Ladder. No, I want to watch the original. I'm sorry, I want to watch the original. So we bought it on Amazon Prime, like digital download, watch, whatever, for like $3. The original Jacob's Ladder was like $3. So I was like, okay. So we watched it, and it was made in like the 1990s. It had Macaulay Culkin in it. Home Alone's Macaulay Culkin was in this movie. So that was wild. He was still like a kid, so he was a little wee bab in this movie. It was really interesting, honestly, and I really enjoyed it. It was about spoilers for this. I'm going to try not to give everything away, but it was about a Vietnam veteran who got injured in Vietnam, coming home, and all of a sudden he starts to experience hallucinations that he cannot determine are real or not. And after a string of deaths, including his doctor and his friend, who his friend was one of his platoon mates in Vietnam, dies from mysterious circumstances, he starts to believe that what he is seeing might not all be in his head. And it's actually super freaking interesting, and I can definitely see where the inspirations visually from Jacob's Ladder came through to Silent Hill. Like, they didn't copy it exactly, but they definitely took some elements, especially like the hospitals and like how some of their monsters move, and like kind of some of the premises from Jacob's Ladder. And like, honestly, I think that was a pretty good movie. I don't think it was necessarily a horror movie. It had some scary aspects, if you want to say that, but like in general, it didn't feel like a horror movie to me, TBH. But maybe my standard for horror is a little bit different. It was definitely like a mystery thriller with some like scary aspects like sprinkled in, like, yeah. So I really liked it. For $3, that was an amazing deal. I'm very happy with our purchase. And yeah, really liked it. I would probably watch it again sometime. Not anytime soon, because I recently watched it, but like, I feel like I could watch it in the future. So if you also like Silent Hill and haven't seen Jacob's Ladder, I think it'd be a pretty good watch. It is not the same. Like, he's not in a town, like a cursed town or anything like that. But some of the premises and the themes are definitely there. And again, some of the monster visuals and designs and kind of stuff like that are definitely present. So it's pretty cool. I liked it. So we watched that recently. We watched The Babysitter last night with some friends. I had already seen it, and honestly, that's definitely not a horror movie. That is like a murder comedy, if that makes sense. It was funny. I saw it when it first came out, and I definitely didn't mind it. We may not watch a movie tonight. I don't know what we're gonna do. We've been watching a lot of movies, obviously, because, like, what the fuck else are we gonna do? I think Boyfriendo might work on the yard. We have some garden plots that we built out in the yard. And we put in, like, 2 raised flower beds to start growing things, and he's working on a 3rd. We want 4 in total, so I think he's working on the 3rd one because it was raining for a while. All the video games, that's what I know. I honestly haven't played some video games in a while. I really wanted to buy the Silent Hill games and play them, but I can't find them anywhere except for the HD remaster, which I'm definitely not fucking playing because it's awful. They really fucked up the graphics for that one and, like, made it really terrible, so I'm not playing that one. But yeah, I don't know. Boyfriend got some video games for Christmas, or not Christmas, his birthday. So maybe he can take a stab at those. He keeps saying that he wants to finish some of the video games he's already started before he goes into some new ones, but I don't know. They actually just released it on GOG, 2, 3, and 4. What's GOG? Because I looked and I couldn't find it on Amazon or anything like that. 2, 3, and 4. I probably wouldn't play 4, but I'd buy 2 and 3. But what's GOG? Am I just dumb? Good old games? Okay. It's not the HD collection, right? Because that one sucks. I want, like, the OG, or, like, the individually remastered. No, like, I mean, it literally came out today or yesterday. Okay! Yeah, no, I'll go find it. Because I would definitely enjoy that. Because I like me a good old spooky game. And honestly, like, Resident Evil's fun, but there's a way different tone that I much more appreciate out of a Silent Hill game. It's not just, like, a rough 'em, tough 'em, let me shoot all the Zambos game. And, like, you know, Silent Hill has puzzles, and, like, you actually need to conserve your ammo, and, like, a lot of things have a lot of meaning. It might just be 4, looking now. Okay, oh yeah, I don't like 4. I mean, it's definitely a part of the, like, the original Silent Hill, like, I don't want to say trilogy, but, like, a part of the main games by the main team Silent, but I just don't like 4. I don't think it was very good. I like 2 and 3, and 1, obviously. 1 is great. 1, 2, and 3 are my faves. And honestly, I don't mind Origins. I used to play that on the PSP when I had one. And thank you for looking, Erin. You certainly don't have to. I was going to check it out after this stream. But thank you. But yeah, so I might play some video games. Yeah, it was only 4. The search function is dumb and pulls up a wish list request. Okay. No worries. It's not a big deal. I'm just surprised that they did 4, because 4 was, like, really not received that well amongst fans. Oh well. It's okay. But thank you for looking. Could definitely play some video games tonight. I'm transposing data between tables. It's really mind-numbing. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But, yeah, if he wants to continue playing video games, like, on the, he's been playing some on the Switch. I'll probably play some Fallout or something, because I haven't played that in a minute. And I like playing Fallout. Fallout's nice. I always can kind of have a good time at Fallout. I know after he does some yard work, because we're going to do more yard work tomorrow too, like I need to kind of clean up the front yard. There's like some weeds that have just gotten super out of control, so he's going to clean those up while he worked some more in the backyard, and he'll probably mow the yard. I do need to rotate dishes, but I could probably do that tonight. Cycle laundry, as always. Laundry's never done. And we've kind of accumulated like some sort of mess on our dining room table. We're heathens and never actually eat at the dining room table. We always eat like on the couch. So our dining room table has effectively just become like a catch-all for all the shit that we don't know what to do with. And it's just, it needs to be cleaned up. So I'll probably do that this weekend. And there's some more Halloween decorations, because I've definitely put most of my Halloween decorations up. But there's some that I haven't really found a place for, so I'm probably going to look at that this weekend and put those up. We do not have an outdoor light, like, plug-in, on any of the outside of our house. Like, there is no electrical outlet on the outside of our house. It was built in the 40s, and I guess that when the folks, like, kind of redid the house, they just never put a freaking, like, light fixture, or not light fixture, electrical outlet on the outside of the house. So Robert's gonna probably do that this weekend, too, because I have some Halloween lights that are just kind of, like, in a big-ass pile on the counter. And I want to put those out, so, and he would also like to charge his, like, electric car outside, so, instead of, like, feeding a cable through the kitchen window. So he said that he's definitely working on that this weekend as well. So we have a lot of stuff we can do, and in the downtime, like you said, probably play some video games. I think that'd be a good plan. Also, remember, Konami's the worst. You can never predict what they can do. Exactly. Konami is the worst, and you never, ever freaking know what those assholes are gonna do. So, I agree with you. You never know. But yeah, I would like to play Silent Hill. That'd be fun, because I really don't want to play Resident Evil. It just wasn't good. It was fine. It's just, it's different. They're different games. But we are going to go to Lowe's tomorrow, because we need to get some stuff to do the electrical outlet, you know, outside thing. So, I'm probably going to look at Halloween decorations there, too. Because Robert has told me he is now my spooky sugar daddy. And he's going to bankroll my Halloween decoration addiction while I don't have a steady income, because hashtag that artist life. But he's going to bankroll me to a certain extent. He said that I have a budget, but I can get some more decorations for the house. And we are definitely going to hit up the Starbucks that's right next to Lowe's too. So I'm going to get a pumpkin spice latte. Bitches! Remember the inflatable lawn dragons? Yes! I have a sign that's going out in the front yard. It was supposed to be a wall, like, sticker, but we're gonna get some wood to, like, put the wall sticker on the piece of wood, because I like it as, like, a lawn sign. So we're gonna do that, and, like, I'm gonna hodgepodge it down and, like, make sure it's like, all set, and we're gonna put, like, a little, like, wooden spike down the back of it, so it'll be, like, a no shit lawns, sign. I have lights. I wanted to kind of put a graveyard out in our front yard, to be honest. I thought about that. Like, that sounded really fun. I don't know if an inflatable lawn dragon is gonna go with my my graveyard. But I definitely want to see a picture of your inflatable dragon once you put it up. I did get this like light fixture that kind of like it's like a stake. It's like a circular light, but you like stake it into the ground, and it like casts like these little like purple bats onto the front of the house, and I'm really excited about that. So we got that. And I got some like purple lights for the bushes that we just trimmed, because oh my god, the little like hedges out in the front of our house have like freaking overgrown to shit. So we borrowed a hedge trimmer from Boyfriendo's parents and took care of that, and I'm like, thank god. So now I can put the little like lights out there once we get the outlet put in, because we got to put the outlet first before I can like actually do anything. But yeah, I have some like purpley lights to go on the hedges. I've got like the bat lights that are gonna like cast little bats on the door. I've got some orange lights that I'll kind of like hang up on our entryway, because we have this like covering over our door. It's really weird. But I have some like orange lights that I can string over there and stuff like that. So we got a lot of stuff we can do this weekend. I'm really excited. And then I'll kind of see what else Lowe's has for decorations, if they've got some more like cute lawn stuff. Because I feel like I'm pretty okay with what the inside of the house has. Like, it's not everything, but like there's going to be more stuff next year that I might like, so we don't have to get everything right now. But you know, our front, I don't really like, when I was buying Halloween decorations throughout the years, I never bought stuff for like a lawn, because I never owned my own lawn, and now we do, so I don't really have outdoor decorations. So I might take a look at Lowe's while we're getting like the stuff for the outlet and like some stuff for the planter box tomorrow. And then we're also taking Louise for a walk again. We always take her for a little walkie on Saturdays at the park, so we're gonna go do that tomorrow as well. It's gonna be busy, and then I'll play video games in the evening, because honestly I'm kind of tired of movies for now. It's just, I've watched a lot over the past like 3 days. I'm kind of like, eh. I also haven't checked my Animal Crossing town in a bit, and like the fall edit just came out, so I probably need to like check on that, because I think you can get a jack-o'-lantern, and honestly I'm so fucking here for it. And I gotta decorate my town for Halloween and make it all spoopy and cute, so I gotta check in on them. They're probably gonna be super pissed at me. They're gonna be like, Mayor Maddie, where the fuck were you? Like, bitch! I'll be like, sorry guys, I was being an adult. But yeah, so I'm gonna check in on that, because I want some jack-o'-lanterns and I want to put them all over my town, and it'll be so cute. And I've actually bought some like spooky decorations that I've seen in the stores over my months of playing, and I'm really excited. I also need to kind of see what fish are in season and what butterflies are in season, so I'll probably check that out too. So that's what my weekend plans hold. We also still have the camping supplies from Boyfriendo's family, and I asked if we could drop those off this weekend, so we'll probably do that like on Sunday or something, or Saturday if we can freaking fit it in. Saturday's gonna be busy. Jesus. The song is way too relaxing for haunted stuff. Hair takes a long time to do, y'all. Also, Erin, I am really sorry that your commission is taking so long. I literally drew scales on your lizard lady. And that took a really long time to kind of draw in some scaling detail and shade. So, and I got like 5 other commissions for like really like quick portraits, so I've been trying to whip those out in an easy amount of time. And dude, I'm just really sorry that this commission is taking a lot longer than the other one. I mean, that probably take longer than hair. Yeah. I'll actually show you real quick, like, where it's at. There we go. Yeah, like, I went in and kind of, like, drew all this, like, scaling detail. It's good to hear there's a pile of commissions. Yeah! I'm really excited about it, but, like, I'm really trying to make sure yours does not fall to the wayside while getting these, like, really quick, like, the commissions that people have, like, commissioned me for, like, the 5 new ones, there's stuff that takes me, like, maybe an hour to do. So while trying to get those out, I'm making sure that I'm working on yours too. But, like, here's the details of yours now. I was looking at her face and how they have, like, all these, like, little, like, lines and stuff like that. So I was trying to mimic that here. And then I saw in a different picture on her abs, she's got, like, these bigger, like, scaling sections. And then that bigger scaling side, kind of like a snake, she's got it, like, on the inside of her arms and the inside of her legs. So what I tried to do is make that bigger, like, scaled section towards the inside of her arms and the inside of her legs. You can't really see it that well next to all of these smaller scales. And the feet took a minute. Like, making sure all those were good took a minute. And I'm still working on your tail right now. So, yeah, she's got an alligator belly. Yeah, so that's what I was working on. So after I kind of drew in all these little scales and, like, was shading in between them, I'm going back over and actually adding some, like, shade to make the face look more dimensional. So I'm really sorry it's taken a minute. I'm also launching a new Etsy store. So it's a lot. I maybe took on too much in October, and I'm really trying to make sure I don't fall behind on anybody's orders. So I just really appreciate you do. Yeah, here's some of the commissions that I've worked on. You can kind of see. I started doing some, like, digital colored portraits for people. So the one in the middle, top middle, top right, and, like, the bottom middle are all commissions, and I made some duplicates for stuff. So, and I started to do some, like, basic portraits and stuff like that, and that's really taken off amazingly. Like, people really like that. So I've been working on that too, but trying to handle that, which is getting commissions as well as you know, my stuff that I already do. So I'm finding the middle ground. So I really appreciate you, and you're really awesome, and I'm really trying not to take forever, but alligator scales take a minute. They take a minute. Excuse me. So, and I'll probably work on your commission some more today, because I worked on it yesterday as well. Because I got some of those portrait commissions down. I did like 3 yesterday in addition to working on your alligator lady scales. I'll probably work on your commission a little bit more after the stream. And then, yeah. Do I want more shading? I want more shading. It's looking okay, but I could use some more shading. But yeah, people went bonkers for those portraits. So it's totally different than my anime store. So I'm making a separate Etsy store offering commissions for those portraits and stickers that are like that artistically and stuff like that. So it's I didn't think that would take off so quickly, and it has. So I gotta follow the money for that too. I'm definitely not giving up the anime stuff for sure. It's just like while commissions are kind of scarce for this style of work, and you know, I'm not doing conventions right now, and that's honestly where I make the vast majority of my money. I was like, let me see if I can diversify, you know, my artistic talents to try to make a living for myself as an artist. So that's kind of where I'm at, doing this stuff and trying to make sure I manage all my projects correctly, and not make everybody wait. So better. I want more shading in here. What happened? It's like I got some stray marks or something. Let's just get rid of those. Okay. There we go. But I really like how your commission's coming along. Like, I think it looks pretty good, but, you know, I'm biased because I'm like, I think everything I do is great. But, I will say I've never done scale work before, so that's been a new one. It's been a fun thing to kind of navigate with a different texture. Okay, don't mind that. Probably need to blend it out in some areas. Oop, that is way too big. Always good to broaden horizons. I agree. So it's definitely doing that for me. So thank you. Did I literally just erase this and not blend it? That's why it looked lighter. I was like, what the hell? This is different. There we go. Alright, I was like, what the hell is happening? Alright, let's bring that down. Yeah, it's like, it's not really blending. That seems like it's erasing. And it was. But in other things that we might do this October, I think we will definitely try to go to a pumpkin patch, as long as the pumpkin patch is like being safe and like not allowing too many people to come at once and everybody wears masks, because it's like, it's an outdoor thing, and as long as it's not a lot of people, you know, you can pretty much avoid some folks, kind of like you do at the grocery store, but you know, you're outside, so you get a little bit more freedom to kind of not be right on top of each other. And that way I can pick some pumpkins. I like picking pumpkins. So we'll probably do that in a few weeks because I like to make sure my pumpkins are still alive and fresh for Halloween. So we usually do it a week to 2 weeks prior. So we're probably going to do that too. But to figure out where to go though. Make sure they're, enforcing safety protocols. And it's not just a freaking free-for-all for everybody. Definitely not here for that. And I think I mentioned last time, we're still going to do the trick-or-treating for the kids in the neighborhood. We're going to make sure, we're not going to answer the door. I have, the window that overlooks the porch. So I was going to open the blinds and keep the windows closed, but, kind of allow each kid to pick their own little treat bag, and all the treat bags are going to be the same, and they can still come get some candy from a bowl of pre-packed snack candy bags from the bowl. And the patio will overlook it, so we can kind of keep an eye on things. He and I, boyfriend and I, we're gonna dress up so we can wave to the kids in our costumes. And I'll probably put a note on the mailbox at the end of the drive to be please feel free to come trick or treat on Halloween night. One snack bag per kid. The first bag they grab is the one they have to take. You can't sit there and rifle through them. And only one family at a time, coming up to grab some candy. So that way, they can kind of space out and safely get some candy that night. And we have the Nextdoor app as well, which our neighbors seem to be somewhat available on. So maybe closer to, we'll put a little note on Nextdoor saying, if any kids in the neighborhood want to come trick or treat, we're open and available, but here's the rules that we're kind of setting up so everybody's safe. So that way, he and I don't interact with the kids directly because we're not answering the door. They come get it from the bowl off the porch, but we can kind of see them and wave at them and say hi, but through a closed window. And hopefully, they stick to the one family per coming to the bowl. And it'll all be pre-packed, I'll wear my mask, and gloves when I pack the candy bags. And they can do that. So, that's kind of where we're at for trick-or-treating. And I think I'm hosting a virtual holiday, Halloween party this year. I was talking to a friend of mine, Rachel, you'll know Erin. She really enjoyed DragonCon, so online, so I told her that I can do virtual Halloween, and she said she'll take virtual Christmas. So she's going to organize a virtual friend Christmas party, and I am in charge of Halloween. So I will probably organize that here in the next coming weeks and send out e-invites for our friend group in a few weeks. So that way everybody has time to get ready for it. So we have some plans. So it's really sad to see people be like, Halloween is canceled, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, there's still plenty you can do. I saw one person on my Facebook feed, there was a fun run, a Halloween fun run in our city that got canceled because, they're like, yeah, we're not going to get a whole bunch of people to run in huge packs and get sweaty and try to enforce masks, regulations while people are sweating and running and all that shit. So they're like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. And she shared the news on Facebook, obviously. And she's like, oh my god, I can't believe they did that. They canceled Halloween. Like, I'm so sick of this. Like, this is the stupidest thing ever. Our city is just making it worse. Like, this is the worst decision that they've made. And I was like, it's a 5K. It's a Halloween 5K. Is that really all that Halloween, like, is to you? Is a dumbass 5K? Really? And it was just sad. I was like, there's so many other things you can do. Like, they definitely recommend, like, not trick-or-treating as per normal. There's some other things you can do to, like, kind of do some trick-or-treating that isn't, you know, going into people's homes or, you know, knocking on people's doors and them opening their door and being in close contact and stuff like that. But I'm like, Halloween isn't canceled. Like, there's so many things you can do. Like, watch scary movies. Have a virtual Halloween party with your friends. Dress up in costume. Put some, like, candy bags out on your porch. Go to a pumpkin patch. Make some spooky desserts. I don't know. Summon the devil. I don't fucking know. Like, whatever witch vibes shit you want to do. Like, Halloween still is there. Like, I'm not recommending you do the last one. This is just for comedic effect. I feel like I have to, like, make that acutely aware. But yeah, like, funny jokes aside, there's still plenty you can do to, like, have fun on Halloween just because you're kind of limited in the things you can do. So it was really just sad to see the closed-mindedness of a lot of people, especially people who I thought were better, I guess. But, you know. So, I don't know. It's just sad to me because I'm like, Halloween is definitely not canceled in my household. Robert and I are still trying to decide what we're going to be for Halloween this year. I know like what I wanted to be, but I think we're going to do like a couple's costume. Oh no! There we go. Let's just blend it. In fact, like, I was just thinking some things that we did already is like, I bought like pumpkin cinnamon rolls because we always said like last year we were going to try them and we never did. So we were at the grocery store the other day because we had to go in and get like our substitutions that weren't there on our list, because usually we get the like pickup orders, but they didn't have some things, so we went in to go get our substitutions. And I saw the pumpkin cinnamon rolls. I'm like, let's just get them. And he's like, yeah, let's just do it. So we got like the pumpkin cinnamon rolls, and they're good until November. So those are in our fridge, and like one weekend morning I'll make some cinnamon rolls, pumpkin spice cinnamon rolls. We got those like Pillsbury sugar cookies with like the jack-o'-lanterns and ghosts on them. I already bought them. They were like on sale for $2.50 at the grocery store. So I bought one of each and I threw them in the freezer, because even if I'm not going to make them right now and I'm going to like make them like maybe later in the month, they were there and they were on sale and they can freeze really well. So I threw them in the freezer. So, you know, those are some of the things to me that kind of make me feel like it's spooky season. So there's still some things you can do, and I don't want to talk about it forever, but it was, again, like, just because some things are postponed until next year doesn't mean that the whole thing is canceled. Like, it's going to be really sad when people have to realize that they should not be going to people's houses on Thanksgiving, which the CDC has already said, like, you should not do. If you do not live with the individuals that you are going to go see for Thanksgiving, you should not be going to have dinner with them. You can look it up on the CDC website. Unless they've changed it, they definitely basically say do not go over to other people's houses to have dinner on Thanksgiving. And you know, nobody is going to listen to that. And it's going to be really sad because, you know, like, we have already decided if things are not cleared up within the month, we are not going to our family's houses for Thanksgiving. And it's going to be a shit show and everybody's going to get mad, but it's just, it's what has to be, you know, because, like, we care about our family and we're not going to do that to them. And same thing for Christmas. If shit's still going on through Christmas, like, the holiday isn't canceled, but some aspects are off the table. And I feel like it's really defeatist to be like, well, I can't do the thing that I love the most, so therefore it's canceled. And, like, I love going to Halloween costume parties, and I love going to haunted house attractions, and I haven't seen one within driving distance from my house that is like one of those drive-through haunted house attractions. I think there's some in Florida. It's like where you don't have to get out of your car. They do all the scaring from like outside the car, and it's like a drive-through type event. And like there's none near me, so you know, I am not going to go to a haunted house attraction. Even though they are open, I think that's a bad call. And just because I can't do one of the things during the holiday that I enjoy the most does not make me feel like it's canceled. So I'm not perfect, but I freaking wish more people would look for the positives in it. Because yes, you cannot do some of the things that you really enjoyed because there is a fucking pandemic and it's not gone yet. And just because you're tired of it and you're tired of, you know, not doing the things that you love, it's not over. It's not. And we all need to still take it seriously until it is over. And that might mean sacrificing some of the things you love to do. Because guess what? Most likely, they're still going to be there next year. So, that's just kind of where I think about it. And, like, especially as we enter into, like, the, you know, after Halloween, you know, Thanksgiving for America and, you know, Christmas and winter holiday celebrations for everyone else, I am just very concerned that everybody's not going to care anymore, and everybody's going to just do whatever they want and have these big holiday celebrations and get together with family, and especially family that might be immunocompromised, and not take things seriously, and more people are going to get sick. And that makes me really worried, to be honest. Just seeing how people are kind of reacting poorly to this whole Halloween thing. So it's definitely going to be a fight for our family, and I know especially mine, because mine have already given me a lot of shit for not seeing them because I don't live with them. And I'm like, I'm not visiting because I love you and I don't want you to get sick, and I don't want to get sick. And they don't get it. And that makes me sad, and they're gonna get mad at me, and that gives me a lot of anxiety. And I don't like thinking about it, but it just popped into my noggin, so is anybody else going through this, or is it just me? Like, having family who just doesn't freaking get what's going on and trying to pretend like it's not that serious. Because I sure am. Might send a message to the entire family beginning of November, so that way there's no blindside. Hey, if things are not cleared up by November, be like, look, things have not subsided, things are pretty much just continuing to be terrible. We are probably not going to have holidays with family because we do not want to put ourselves and others in danger. So, yeah. I might just go ahead and nip that in the butt in the beginning of November and just be like, look, we can't wait to celebrate with you guys again, but it ain't happening right now. And we will see you very soon. Yeah, so that's gonna be a fight. I'm not looking forward to it. I think we're ready to add some highlights. I'm going to take the airbrush. me? Okay. Here we go. I think that's looking pretty good. I need to add some like little highlight hair strands. Let's see. Add some highlights to the crown. And then kind of a little bit closer to her face. Okay, thinking that looks pretty good. Let me color in her eyes, and then I'll probably be done for the day, because that's a lot of work we got done. So from what I remember, her eyes are kind of like a hazel color. Let's go ahead and get my paintbrush. There we go. I want that to go way down. Itchy eye. I probably need to center that a little bit. Ooh, no. I want a free hand. It's just, that's good. Just want to make sure I have a good placement of that. I feel like her iris in the left eye is a little bit bigger. Yeah, I just feel like the other one's bigger. Okay, you know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna do the digital artist cheat. Here we go. Yeah, I got like a little itch in the corner of my eye. There we go. Now we can merge that down. Merge. No, let's not merge that yet. I also don't like her mouth that much. I might fix it. But actually, yeah, we can go ahead and merge that down. That's fine. Let's give her like that golden kind of look. looking pretty good. Okay. All right. I think she's coming along really nicely. So, you know, we've been at it for about 2 hours. I need to, you know, get cracking on all that, like, weekend stuff I was telling y'all about, all that cleaning, and it's gonna be super fun. But, before I go, I'm not sure if you guys caught it on the Twitter or the Instagrams. Oh, cool, my camera cut out. Come on, camera. There it goes. I am, oh, nope, it decided no. Back. Yeah, okay. But just in case if y'all didn't catch it, I am going to scale back my, my streaming days, from 3 days a week to 2 days a week, just so I can kind of manage all the different projects that I've got going on right now. Again, I think I bit off a little more than I can chew, so I just want to make sure I give all of my projects and commissions the time that I need to give them. So I'm cutting back to 2 days, and that will be Tuesday and Friday at the same time, 2 p.m. So we'll stream for a little bit, we'll work on some spooky shit, and it'll be really fun. But I hope you guys can understand. Scaling back a little bit. It's definitely not going to be for forever. Kind of once my work schedule kind of gets a little bit more under control with commissions and such, and all the kind of things that I'm trying to do right now to make sure that being an artist is something that I can do full time. It's a lot of stuff that I have to do. So once that kind of gets a little bit more under control, I can definitely up the days that I'm doing again back to 3. So yeah, so I'm just gonna take it down to 2 so I can easily do more of my things. But I super appreciate you all being here. I'm gonna yawn. We're probably gonna have some chai tea here in a minute, but I super appreciate y'all being here today. I'm having a lot of fun working on this with you. I'm really into this art piece a lot. I like Heather. I like the game series, and I think it's coming along really great. I hope to have this as a print and sticker option in my Etsy store when it's done, so look forward for that. But thank you guys so much for being here. It was really great talking to all of you, and I hope you guys have an amazing weekend, that it is restful or productive or lazy or whatever you want your weekend to be. I hope it is that for you. And happy spooky season. This was the first like official spooky streams of October. I know we've done a few spooky streams already prior to this, but this is the first one of the actual spooky season of October, so that's really exciting. So thank you so much for being here, and I will definitely catch you all on the next one, which is going to be next Tuesday at 2 p.m. So I will catch you then, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye!